Urbanmech versus the Locust, head-to-head. That's what we're going to explore in this Battletech vlog. Now, I can easily say that this should not even be a question. Urby wins on heart alone. Is there any more well-known, more loved mech in the game? But putting that aside, as a mech commander, as a mech warrior, going head-to-head, Urby versus Locust. So starting with speed, then we're going to look at weapons, then we're going to look at some of the different quirks between these two mechs. They both don't have hands or arms. Does that mean things could potentially quickly devolve into a kicking match? So matching up the weapons, this is stock. Yes, we could absolutely get into variants, but especially in the head-to-head with light mechs, variants really change things tremendously. There is a massive difference between the stock Locust and bringing the variant with the short-range missile packs 2 and 2 and a medium laser. Likewise, I regularly play the autocannon 20 Urby for the lulls. A massive difference in Tactica, almost like they're completely different mechs as opposed to variants. So we're jumping in stock. Urbanmech, autocannon 10, small laser. Got something at really long range, got something at really short range. The Locust, medium laser, and 2 pairs of machine guns. You've got something at a long-ish range and really, really short range. So the first thing on the matchup, of course, and then we need to ask ourselves delivery of this. At short range, both mechs seem to be evenly matched. 2 machine guns versus a small laser. We're going to zap each other. We're going to be at point blank. Potentially, the machine guns can do a little bit more damage. I say potentially because it's a chance to hit twice and maybe start wearing away armor at different locations or fishing for a crit. But at the same time, the armor that the Urbanmech has kind of negates that a little bit. Likewise, the Locust really not having much armor. The zappy of a small laser, we don't want to get hit, but I don't want to say I'm not afraid of it. I think we can navigate it. Now, on the primary weapon side, the Locust is solid. Medium laser, good range, 5 points of damage, good heat, no ammunition. It's a solid inner sphere weapon, but it's outmatched, outclassed by that autocannon 10. That is normally hard hitting. That's one of the secret sauce of the Urbanmech for the battle value and the mech support to get an autocannon 10 on the table that most people are going to ignore if you're playing the Tactica correctly because you've got other mechs and other units that you're pushing forward. It's not that I don't want to blast Urby, but I've got bigger problems in the moment, and every turn that's a free autocannon 10 shot coming at me. The difference between 5 points and 10 points potential of a damage is huge on a light mech. But these are single weapons. You've got one shot. You've got to make it count. We're going to be trying to pull down the modifiers as best we can and control those to land those shots. Urby could take a hit or 2 or 3 from that medium laser, but that Locust, 2 or 3 or 4 hits from that autocannon 10 is just going to absolutely savage it. So now we switch over to armor and movement because the protection of a light mech, and we've explored this in the Light Mech Tactica that I pushed up to the Battletech playlist here, you're running and gunning. You're moving. The armor is really a last resort. Other things happen. Something went wrong. You messed up as a mech warrior, and you got hit. Hopefully you can keep going. So we're trying to stay out of firing arcs. We're trying to play the initiative game. We're trying to move around. We're trying to jump around. We're trying to cover as many hexes as we can, et cetera, et cetera. But with that and these 2 mechs, you have a Locust that's extremely fast and lightly armored for its weight class. And you've got the Urbanmech movement. It's slow. I mean, the only thing it can keep up with is what? A behemoth tank? I mean, it is slow. But it does have jump capability. And with the light mechs, the hex map is everything, is very, very important. So the Tactica, in looking at that, the Locust, I feel, is going to try and run. try and move as much as it can and really use those hexes. You kind of have two options as I see it. You can use those hexes to keep up the modifiers, right? Keep up moving, keep up the modifiers, and try to stay, I guess, at medium range. So this way, I'm bringing down the modifiers a little bit for the medium laser. I don't know if I want to get to short range and push that, because I am coming into that autocannon band. I want to keep the modifiers down a little bit, but defensively up, and try to out-zap the Urbanmech. The problem with out-zapping the Urbanmech is it is going to be firing back with that autocannon 10, and this leads to the beginning of the Tactica. Can I take 2 or 3 or 4 of those hits? I don't think I can. So the normal Tactica of the Locust to be running around like crazy if I'm forced to engage, because remember, I'm forced to engage. This is head-to-head. Normally, this isn't really a problem with a Locust because I'm not actively looking to engage and destroy the target. I'm looking for targets of opportunity to harass, to run and gun, to shoot with the laser. I think the Locust pilot's going to have to go all in. I think they're going to have to use that speed to try and get rear armor and get to point blank and hit with those machine guns and just fire away as best they can and utilize that to quickly nullify the Urbanmech. Now, on the Urbanmech side, we don't have speed. So I'm looking to castle up. I don't want to say abuse the hex map. What I mean by that is if you put out a hex map, at the very corner of the hex map, you get your mech back to that, you're in that firing arc, you're going to be able to blast away. If I stayed there and the Locust comes forward to try and move in while I'm protecting my rear armor, I'm going to get a couple of shots on the way in. Yes, we get head-to-head, and now we're blasting away. I mean, yes, rules is written. I can play that. I can do that, but that's not really realistic. We're looking like there's a battle going on, and these two mechs meet each other. So the Urbanmech, what I would be looking to do is keep moving, try to blast away, but utilizing those jump jets. Can I get to places that the Locust can't? City Fight, City Tech would be a dream. Can I get on top of those buildings and blast away? Can I fire away at the Locust? Can I get to a place where I'm going to be able to do that and at least try to stay away from those machine guns, the range of those machine guns, trying to get close? Likewise, can I box myself into a corner? I think it's fair if it's terrain. If it's a dead end in City Fight, City Tech, that's certainly fair. Can I box myself in and blast away? And then, of course, if it comes to it, I guess it'll be a kicking match back and forth or potentially a death from above. Although I don't think it's going to come to a kicking match, and I don't think it's going to come to death from above because that autocannon 10 combined with the armor of the Urbanmech, it's a significant outclass to the Locust. So turning it over to my fellow mech commanders, mech warriors, mech techs, Urbi versus Locust, two of my favorite machines. I'm always playing an Urbi. I'm regularly playing a Locust. In my lists, I'm going to give it, not just because of the heart. The heart is there. The love is there. I'm just going straight on Tactica. I'm going to give it to the Urbanmech.